For the meeting agenda tonight, we'll start off as usual with our flag salute and our announcements. And scheduled to be here tonight was Diana Boone, who's the chair of the Santa Clarita Parks and Rec Commission. But unfortunately, Diana took sick this evening, and so she won't be able to be here and asked to be put off till next month. So we're going to have a fairly easy time tonight of getting everything talked about. And we'll talk about the city council elections, what the final results were, and why it took so long to get the final results, because a lot of people have asked that question. Why is it that we voted on the 8th and we really didn't get the results until a week later? So we'll go through and understand that. The other thing is we want to talk about some items of interest, and we'll talk about some of the issues that we had going all the way back a couple of years, because typically what we've done at the beginning of the year, and it kind of gets set off on election years, is we go through and we list all the items that we've talked about that haven't got fixed, that haven't got done, and then we go ahead and track them or have different people make appointments with council people and talk about them. So we'll show you how some of those things worked and how some of the issues that were here a couple of years ago are still here and we're still working them. And some of them are these what I call City Promise Canyon Country projects. We'll talk about some of the projects that have been promised to Canyon Country and that they are either postponed or they just haven't started yet. Then there's a sanitation district fee reminder. I know it's been now 4 months since we've talked about sanitation district fees, but now is the time it's going to happen. Typically in April is when the budgets come out, and in May is when the increases come out. So I'm expecting that at the May Sanitation District meeting, which may be held here in Santa Clarita, they're going to talk about raising your fees. And the numbers have been pre-established, so I actually know what those raises are going to be. And so we'll talk about them, and then we'll see how we do. Then one of the things that I thought was very interesting that we'll chat about a little bit is the changes being made to the city council agendas and videos. That's really good news. It's something that we've been asking for a couple of years, and it's we'll talk about what it's going to do. It'll be a really good thing for us. So that's what we're going to do. Then we'll go to, this is our time for our yearly 2014 officer elections. Every year we go through and reaffirm our membership leadership. Then our version of public participation is the first 5 people for 1 minute, and they can come on up here and talk about anything they want. Then some next meeting previews, because now we're starting to line things up for meetings to come, and then we'll adjourn at 9 o'clock and maybe a little bit earlier. Normally we start with a tribute to somebody or something that was very important to us. And since we just went through the city council election, it brought to mind some of our American heroes in Afghanistan. These pictures were taken in 2010 with Mark Watts and Joshua Hamilton and Jack Hamilton. And the two Hamiltons are not related. And I tried to go and look and see where they were today, but I really didn't have enough time to track them down. I wanted to make sure that they'd made it out of there. But they were there to promote and enable the Afghan population to vote. They just had the Afghan elections. And something like, I think it was 67% of eligible Afghans went and voted and dipped their finger in that purple ink. And they voted even though the penalty for voting by the Taliban was death. But still 67% of them showed up and voted. And it just reminded me that here in our city council election, where there is no penalty for voting, we barely got 13% of the people out here to vote. So it just seemed to me that we have people all over the world doing great things and being great heroes to help promote democracy, and it would really be wonderful, and I'm sure that all of you classify as a hero by having gone down or cast your ballot in, as an absentee. So with that, my good man in the front row, would you lead us in the flag salute?
Those veterans can salute with a hat or without a hat. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And there we go. For announcements, there's a lot of stuff going to be going on in Newhall. The Old Town Newhall Association meets the third Wednesday of the month, also at 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been going there now for about 2 years. And so they were talking about some of the things that are going to happen. So tomorrow night, Census returns to Newhall, Main Street, and the Rock and Rodeo is the theme. It's free, and here they're going to indoctrinate 2 more individuals on the Walk of Western Stars. Is going to occur tonight, and they are. Anybody remember the names? They are who? Charles Bronson, and
Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen. Yeah, Steve McQueen.
Great escape.
There you go. So yeah, Steve McQueen, and I used to see him out there with Jack Eakins. Bud Eakins was his brother who did the jump in The Great Escape, and Jack was his brother who actually was a professional motorcycle racer, and I used to see them out once a month at Ponderosa Ranch. So there you go. Anyway, the Cowboy Festival, which starts on the 24th and goes to the 27th, most people go between the 26th and the 27th. That's the event at Melody Ranch. And there's also going to be a walk behind the scenes that you have to pay for $40 if you're interested. But go to cowboyfestival.org/schedule, and they have an event. They have a schedule of all the events that occur, and there's quite a few of them. So this is going to be the upcoming weekend for the Cowboy Festival. On April the 25th at El Trocadero is going to be the Midnight Howl, and it is a whiskey tasting event. Woohoo! There you go, from 8:30 to 1 a.m. From 8:30 to 1 a.m. And then I'm hoping that they have all the sheriffs stay home after that. Maybe not. Maybe you should play it safe and take a cab. But yeah, that's what's going to occur at El Trocadero. Cinco de Mayo is also going to be held on the 3rd of May on Saturday. Well, yeah, I know it's Tres de Mayo. You know, that's all. And that's being sponsored by the Hispanic Chamber. And if you want to be a sponsor or you want a booth, then you can call Patsy Ayala or Patricia Ladd, and they still have openings there. But that will be on the 3rd of May, Saturday, and it's going to be there from noon to 5 p.m. Also, there is a peace officer memorial being put on by the Friends of Hart Park. It'll be at Hart Hall Thursday evening on May 15th. And there's actually 2 parts to this event, one that goes 6 to 8 and one that goes 7 to 9. But get on the website, take a look at it, and they are going to be honoring some of the officers that have given their all for Newhall. So here's our attendance statistics. As you notice, you can see the little lump over there on the left, and that is the candidate forums. Those are the 3 candidate forums. And to some extent, the candidate forum, I think one of the reasons why our candidate forums were a little lower than they had been in the past is because the Signal and K-Hits refused to cover them. And they both gave me all kinds of excuses, but they did not cover them, if you notice. That was a part of some of the election shenanigans that went on. We did have a substantial number of views. If you ignore that big thing up at the top, which is the 301 views for our discussions on mobile or manufactured home rent control. The last line, it's of course vacant in December, was the views on our candidate forum, which went really well. You can see that compared to the other candidate forums, we were we actually did good. And of course, some of them were online longer than others, so because it was done over 3 months. So, and obviously the candidates that were there the longest were the highest, but there it was at 200. And I think I had 200, and Dwayne Hardy had something like, he was just below me at 180 something, or so it was good. People were watching. Okay. For the next meeting, I've invited our Sheriff Captain Roosevelt Johnson. He said that he would be here in May. We're going to put him on first. He's got several places he's got to be on that date, so we'll help him there. We should by that time know what the sanitation district rate increases, the chloride user rate and the connection fee, and I'll show you how connection fees are supposed to be calculated. In June, Chair Gilmore and Sandra Cattell have indicated that they will be here to do a presentation on fracking. Fracking is hydraulic fracking is a fracturing of rock by a pressurized liquid, and they'll tell us about it and what the problems that they've seen with it. And then sometime later in this year, we'll talk about a business improvement district. This is an issue that's starting up now in the Newhall area. It is another way of taxing residents. In this case, it gets, or it's supposed to actually be determined by the business owners themselves. But in this particular case, this business improvement district has a large amount of property in it that's owned by the city, so it's going to be very interesting. And we'll find out about that too. I'm not sure exactly when that'll occur, but we will bring that information to you. So I want to thank you all again for choosing to join us and attend the Canyon Country Advisory Committee meeting. And I hope to see you again back here next month when we have more people than just me up here talking. See you then.